think it's definitely helped us. I think it's raised awareness of what we're doing in the classroom. In our subsequent observations, we noticed the teachers asking various levels of questions. Even the students even made reference to level 1, 2, 3, 4 in some classes. So I definitely think that it has paid dividends. If nothing else, it's just opened up the discussion. We weren't having those discussions at the beginning of the year. And when we spent some time reflecting at the end of the year on one of our late start meetings, definitely the conversation has changed. It's been less about what the students don't do and more about what are we doing to create that student-centered classroom. And to me, that was a big shift. Now, we aren't where we want to be, but I think we have definitely grown, and so that whole professional learning community, sometimes it seems cliche, but for us, I think we are well on our way to engaging in that and becoming more of that. So the awareness is definitely there, and I think the teachers really connected, and we look forward to moving deeper into that.
First year here as a principal and looking at where are we as an entire staff. So looking at, okay, first year, school improvement plan, where do we want to be 5 years from now, 3 years from now? Mission and the vision creates our foundation in which everything else builds upon. So when we create our school improvement plan, which is an ongoing plan, we always have to go back to the mission and the vision and say, okay, so what we're putting in the plan, does it go along with the mission and the vision? Can we then evaluate it within the plan to ensure that we're on the right pathway? Another thing is that it seems like we're doing so many things within a district, all the initiatives that are going on. This helps all of us to see that they are all one common connection and that they're just pieces, but they're really grouped for a common cause. So it encompasses a lot. Instead of thinking that we're doing so many things, it brings it together to say, well, this has to happen before this happens, and this is why this is all connected.
Our initial training with Dr. Hodge started with him coming in and talking with us about some of our non-negotiables, what we thought were the strengths of our buildings and what our philosophies were and the things that we really wanted to hold on to. And he worked with us about reassuring us about our belief systems and that what we had in place really were the things that we needed to hold on to help our students and their families be successful. After that, we turned to looking at leveled and tiered questionings, tier 1, 2, 3, and 4, and talked about where do we think the majority of our instruction and our assessments were. And what we found out that we were really way too much into the percentage of tier 1 and tier 2, and there was a low level of comfort in creating our own tier 3 and tier 4 questions. So our next several sessions were spent unpacking some of the standards. Dr. Hodge had us bring some of our standards that we were most uncomfortable with to write assessments for level 3 or tier 3 and tier 4 questions. And the comfort level quickly began to grow. And then he worked with our administrative team on helping us set up a system of walkthroughs and putting teams together so that we can go through next school year and look for tier 3 and tier 4 questionings and talk with us about how we can gauge the percentage of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 questions we're seeing throughout the course of an instructional day in all of our classrooms. We then moved to making sure that our understanding of each tier was systemic through the building. And what I mean by that is to make sure that each teacher in a grade level could have the same understanding and use the same language when talking about what it takes to move an assessment from a tier 2 to a tier 3. And then when a second grade team sits down and talks with our third grade team, that understanding is the same. And again, moving throughout the entire building, everybody's understanding was the same, and that way we were able to piece together common assessments that built on all the standards throughout the grade levels.